Hi there! This video is sponsored by me and my webcomic Blank Cartridge, which is available for free right now on Webtoon. We are slowly reaching 2000 subscribers and it's mind-blowing. I'm so thankful that you're leaving so many positive comments about it under the videos. Have in mind that it's just the beginning. If you don't know the story yet, I'd recommend to check it out. Thank you! I won't hide it, the debate in the last film exceeded my expectations regarding the amounts of feedback and thoughts I received from you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Nevertheless, I would like to refer in this video to a certain comment that stuck out with me for a while. It's interesting because it shows a rather unusual approach to this generative AI thing. People recognize that AI has brought a new medium to get more people daring to pick up the pencil and start drawing because they're being inspired by their own imagination with AI, and they want to find their voice and start drawing after using AI for a while. They start recognizing what is resonant with them, themselves, and the themes they like. Then they start to trace it, replicate it, duplicate it, like any budding artist who uses tracing as a means to get their foot in the door in middle school. Then they start doing the coloring, learning how to use different brushes, different methods of coloring and lighting. Pretty soon, they've moved on from AI, and now they're using models to reference for posing. At this time, they start to get a strong idea in which way they're going to create their art, and they follow it, enhancing their own technique in what makes their art truly unique. And that's where I am. People really need to stop being so harsh on AI. You're gatekeeping art from people who want to explore their creativity. You make a PBJ sandwich, does that make you a chef? Or someone who made a sandwich? Okay, I'm done with the editing. You can just pause it and read the rest if you want. Wouldn't the world be beautiful if these gatekeeping artists gave ordinary people this inaccessible knowledge, gave them the key to their talent and success? After all, it's enough to give them a checklist of things to fill out. What's the problem? Well, that this path to success doesn't exist, and the existence of AI and its current definition is flawed at its very foundations. And artists, believe me, share their knowledge. Oh, they do. Let's start with a short anecdote, shall we? Back in 2020, a month before COVID took off, I had the opportunity to take part in Microsoft's AI bootcamp for young girls. I guess it was cool? I think so. You know, a bit of coaching talk, a bit about development paths, some app creation for a better future, that sort of thing, you know, that app that will diagnose your cancer or cure your depression. You know, just silly little PR events. However, there is one thing that stuck with me. There was a segment where we supposed to play a low-paid employee from less developed countries and teach AI something. We had a certain database of photos, an apple, paper, a trash can, etc. And we were supposed to simply classify them into the appropriate folders with the name of the item. Of course, there were assurances that the algorithms would be only able to recognize a specific item after being fed the appropriate amount and variations of photos. When we asked where such photos come from and whether only photos can be used for training in this program, the answers we received were that this is still a question that is difficult to answer. Because how are we to obtain this data without violating copyrights and other legal problems? And right now, folks, it's 2025. But you know, unfortunately, it's a false assumption to say that anyone who receives something will only use it for specific positive purposes, especially when the very assumptions of that thing are fundamentally flawed. Because here I reuse a very dehumanizing capitalistic phrase, Resource extraction or gathering data for these algorithms, and what we normal people mean by that is the work of a lot of people, stories, cultural works, pop culture, stolen under the guise of research for some non-profit foundations or organizations. And you know who for many years operated as a non-profit organization? OpenAI, same as Lion for Midjourney. And now the question is where to look for good intentions in this. In the programming environment, there are various licenses, freeware, shareware, adware, but what has caused the most controversy in the case of AI is the release of an unfinished, extremely buggy algorithm susceptible to various abuses as open source. So basically, it means your friend, your mom, your grandma, your dog can modify it, use a tool that processes the entire database with someone's medical data, private photos, criminal cases, and even worse things. Everything and everyone has access to it. It's like giving every person on earth a gun. You know what the intentions of the gun are, but let's pretend that every possible person on earth will use it in the best possible way, which is self-defense. And yet, it is based on hurting someone. But I won't go into further analogies like that. And no, dear AI supporters, the fact that you present me with another analogy in favor of AI won't change the facts at all, and they won't contribute anything more to this discussion. Besides, this is nothing new in the way Silicon Valley operates. Meta, Uber, Netflix, Airbnb, all of them were based on one single principle, adorably called Blitzkrieg. Or its middle version, blitzscaling. It is based on the rapid acquisition of the competition, when at the beginning you give your product for free or at very good price, or you become a so-called aggregator of small entities and centralize them, only to quickly destroy any sort of competition. Blitzscaling is what you do when you need to grow really quickly. It's the way of rapidly building out a company to serve a larger and usually global market, with the goal of becoming the first mover at a scale. And when you do that, you make it so that in people's minds there is no alternative to your product. You then start to gradually raise prices and lower quality. And you know what? OpenAI has all of it, the worst of both worlds. Another thing is that what is now called artificial intelligence never was it in the first place. It is a marketing ploy rooted on our subconscious thoughts, desires, fears that pop culture and literature have developed in us over decades. I will not go into more depth on how the diffusion model works, if you mind. Okay, we moved very quickly to the problems on the global scale. Let's get back to our comment, to the dilemmas of us as individuals and people who just want to learn art. Because what to do now? Cat is out of the bag. How to deal with the reality, especially as an artist? Well, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Even if those lemons are rotten and hurt your cut hands. The problem is that even making this lemonade will be hard for artists because, it was never created with artists in mind. These algorithms were created for everyone, which means basically no one. AI is associated with a superficial approach to creation and art, where only the end result counts, which is full of falsehood and lies. And for me and many of my artistic peers, it wasn't really artists who gatekept this. It was regular people who did it. don't even try because you can't. Or conversely, that any moron will do it. And the best of all of it, nobody fucking cares. Because you know what? Telling people that art is worthless, it's the best business ever. The dilemma of choice causes us to ultimately choose no option. Unfortunately, the sad truth is that AI does not simplify things for us. What's more, it makes it more difficult and often leads to decision paralysis, where we are unable to do a given thing due to overstimulation and information overload. And art is the opposite. Art flourish in a limit. Because what else can you call creating line by line an image that's stuck in your head for however many times? Capitalists are just pissed off at how suboptimal this process is, how stupid and breakneck this process looks, and all this for just one image. Similarly, while using references, maybe additional reference may allow you to understand a given thing better. However, the time to process this information will be much longer, and when you have a pile of such things, sometimes the lack of reflection in choosing the things you will study can cause you not to do it at all. Therefore, choosing AI as a reference is just self-sabotage. Feeding yourself a lie like the rest. You have a mush, blindly throwing at the wall and seeing what sticks. This is what AI stops you from doing, from developing yourself as a person. Thanks a lot for watching this video. It turned out to be more of a AI run, but I don't regret it, and I hope you like it anyway. I remind you again, you can read Blank Average online. I will be also very grateful for your support on Patreon. I often upload exclusive materials from the creation and share my future projects there. Thank you for such a warm welcome here on YouTube. It definitely gives me a big motivational boost to make more stuff here. Stay safe, guys.